I'm impressed, Retro. Not many people can tackle this game and come back in one piece. Good job. Now let's move on.
Cool. What do we got? I'm ready for anything.
Actually, it's another Metroid game.
What? More Metroid?
Well, yeah, but there's actually a new one coming out soon. Or maybe it's out by the time this video is released.
Well, alright. Might as well get this finished. Well, I'm back with some more Metroid. Anyone excited? What do you mean no? Super Metroid was met with great success when it came out. Fast forward to a year later when the then named Ultra 64 was announced, Nintendo's leap into full 3D. Surely there would be a new 3D Metroid game for the system. I mean, if you want to count it, Samus was in original Smash Bros. Cool. But then, there was a GameCube at the Space World 2000 with a small glimpse of a 3D Metroid game in the works, Metroid Prime. Then a year later at E3, not only was there new information about the game, but there was another Metroid game in the works titled Metroid 4, which later became Fusion, taking the traditional 2D style and putting it on the Game Boy Advance. In my opinion, it's a win-win decision. If people don't like the new 3D style, they'll play Fusion, and if they're bored of the 2D style, they'll play Prime. And so, Metroid Fusion was released for the GPA in 2002 and 2003. Will this game live up to Super? Let's find out! The story takes place a few years after Super Metroid. Samus has been hired as a bodyguard for the biological space labs while they studied life on SR388. After killing this thing, Samus gets attacked by an unknown life form. Not thinking much of it, because that's not gonna bite you later. She carries out the rest of the mission and heads back to her ship. However, while on the way, the life form later known as the X-Parasite, or simply X, infects her nervous system and Samus loses consciousness, leaving her ship to drift off into an asteroid belt. Don't worry though, the ship ejects an escape pod, and Samus is now with the Galactic Federation. Unfortunately, the X-Parasite has multiplied and even infected her powersuit, and because the powersuit has become integrated with her, it couldn't be removed while she was unconscious. Apparently, so they had to surgically remove the infected parts. However, since the X-Parasite is deep stuck inside Samus' nervous system, she was given a low survival chance. That is until someone came in with a vaccine that contained a cell of the last Metroid baby, which I guess they kept around. You see, the Metroids were immune to the X-Parasite. After injecting it, the X-Parasite was completely destroyed. Soon after Samus wakes up, there was a distress signal about an explosion at the BSL ship, and so Samus was sent on a mission to investigate it with her new temporary ship. Oh yeah, she's blue now. Soon after, it is discovered that the X-Parasite is on board the ship. From that point onward, it is your job to do various tasks, find out what's going on, and ultimately stop the X-Parasite. The story has more interesting points and stuff, but we'll talk about that later. So, what to talk about first? How about the parasites themselves? They will serve as your main enemies for the game. For you see, once they kill their host, they will mimic it. So all of those SR388 creatures, they're not real. They are all fake. Oh, and space pirates too. Don't recall ever encountering the space pirates, but maybe they killed some at one point? Luckily, they're no different than what you're used to. Once you kill one, the X-Parasites will be left floating around. And since Samus is immune to them, she can absorb them for health and missile ammo. This, I don't get. I mean, health is understandable, but missiles? In other words, they replace the health and ammo pickups. This, along with the fact that if you leave them alone, they will respawn an enemy, makes things slightly interesting. Once they're there, you want to absorb them. It's not much, but it's kinda neat. Now that we've got that small detail out of the way, let's talk about how the game plays. Well, for starters, the map is exactly like Super Metroid, only better. It tells you where the doors are and when you've got an item. That was literally all I was asking for, and they did it! Yes! Look, I have played this game a long time ago on my 3DS, but that was a really long time ago, and I promise you I forgot all about how the maps were. In addition to that, you're now told where to go. What? Every time you enter a new place, you're given a map right from the start, and you're told where to go. And you have to go back to the navigation room to progress, and Adam the computer tells her where to go next. Oh, I should probably explain this. Samus later names the computer Adam, since it reminded her of an old Federation CEO she used to work under while she worked for the Federation. And yes, she used to work for them until she became a bounty hunter. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah. While you were pointed towards the general location in Zell Mission, this was when you had no map and you still had to find certain statues. Not to mention, while fun, I find these areas pretty small. I mean, sure, there's still areas hidden to the map, and sometimes it took me a while to figure out how to get around, but they don't happen often. You know where to go, and you go. There's also these locked doors that are blocked away, so you'll have to keep going with the story to the point where you unlock them, and then go back. Don't get me wrong, I love linear gameplay I know, but this was not the game to try it with. I guess it makes sense since they wanted to try a deeper story and this was the easiest way to go. And while it is alright, I don't think it was worth it. At least Samus controls fine. Everything you knew in Super is here, with the exception of the run button, but I don't think anyone's gonna cry over it. The wall jumping was also nerfed a bit, which makes sense since, in the right hands, that could cause some sequence breaking in the game. There are some new things like clinging onto edges and climbing on certain walls and ceilings, but that's pretty much it. To be fair, there wasn't much else that could be added. However, I think it should be noted that Samus takes a lot more damage than usual. I think this is mostly because of her losing most of her suits or having the Metroid vaccine, but come on Nintendo, was the jump in difficulty really necessary? Even when you're all powerful and everything, enemies could take about 50 points off your health, and the X-Parasites don't give back much. If I'm gonna be honest, I'm not exactly the best Metroid player out there, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the previous games don't give you that much damage, and even when they eventually do, you've got the Failure Suit or Gravity Suit. Heck, even the NES game wasn't this brutal in terms of damage taken. But speaking of which, along your journey, you'll come across these large blue X-Parasites, which I'll nickname the X-Ice. Sounds like egg slice. These new X variants will freeze Samus once they come into contact with her. You see, while the vaccine grants you invulnerability to the X-Parasites, it comes with a downfall in which Samus is weak to extreme cold temperatures, much like the Metroids themselves. And these stupid tins deal a lot of damage, so it's best to stun them with your arm cannon and move before they rush in on you. Luckily, the various suits not only protect you from hot areas, but also from the cold, so you can go back to them and absorb a lot of health. That's right, you floating icicles, you better run. But the X-Ice aren't the only new variants. There's also the SAX. Remember when I said how the X-Parasites kill their hosts and imitate them? Well, I guess because Samus was supposed to be dead or something, there's now a complete evil copy of Samus. Only one problem. It has all of your old moves, and by the first time you meet it, you're still weak to ice. So if you see it, run. This tin is relentless. It can kill you with only a few shots, and if you're not thinking straight, you will die. You've got to be sneaky, and you've got to be fast. Luckily though, the AI ain't the smartest at times. This is honestly kinda cool. Terrifyingly cool. If it wasn't for my stupidity at times, I'd love it even more. But now we get to the items. The way you get them works differently now. For whatever reason, pieces of your infected suits were left back on the BSL ship. Kind of a dumb move, but it is what it is. This means that to get your powers back, you'll either have to destroy the bosses or download data sent from the Federation. Most of the familiar stuff you're used to is back. A Morph Ball, Morph Bomb, Power Bombs, Charge Beam, Wave Beam, Plasma Beam, Wide Beam, Speed Booster, High Jump, Screw Attack, and Jump Ball. Yeah, that's right, I didn't miss that sucker this time. The Space Jump has improved a bit. There's the Fairy Suit that I brought up. By the way, that suit looks ugly. His colors look all screwed up. Along with the Gravity Suit, and I've checked, it protects you from lava. The Super Missiles are now more of an upgrade to your normal missiles, which is a plus for me. But there's also the Ice Missiles. Yes, the Ice Missiles, replacing the Ice Beam, since apparently because of the new ice weakness, the beam would be rejected, but missiles are fine? I don't know. And the final upgrade to them, the Diffusion Missiles. By charging the missile button and releasing it, the ice effects will have a wider effect. It's not much, but it can certainly be helpful sometimes. And that's all. No grappling beam or X-ray scope. Not a major loss, but they're gone. So yeah, the power-ups are similar to Super Metroid. The game also looks very similar to that game too. I mean, makes sense considering this is a GPA we're talking about. Not much to say about them, apart from those still images, which look nice for the time. The music though, honestly, I find pretty weak. The only theme I can remember liking was the intro. That's it. It's not bad, but it's nowhere as good as the other games. So time for the bosses. Oh boy! They are so freaking hard! Maybe it's because of my skills or the fact that Samus takes way more damage than usual, but I got a couple of game overs from them, not counting the SAX encounters. And keep in mind, I didn't get a single game over in Metroid 2 or Super. And the later bosses, it's like, how are you supposed to not take a hit? Look at you, ugly face! But after you defeat them, you still have to fight the X-Parasite itself, who's gained some sort of a membrane, I guess. But once that's done, here's your new ability. You've defeated a couple of dudes or dudettes and all. Time to enter this little place. Oh, would you look at that? The Metroids are back! So, Metroids, and then the SAX tries to destroy them. Probably because they're both enemies. The section detaches and explodes. And Adam is not very happy about this. Okay, so apparently the Federation was cloning and breeding Metroids for peaceful applications. Okay, I can understand to some extent holding one baby Metroid, but breeding an entire species of Metroids? Not to mention the evolutions, which I fail to see how they can produce energy. You freaking ordered Samus to exterminate the Metroids! Even lost them to the space pirates twice! And now you're telling me they need them? For what? Extra energy? After bidding them too dangerous? Samus isn't happy about the Metroids being there. Adam tells her to continue. He fights the X copied readily. No, seriously. Why are there space pirates? And now Adam tells Samus that she is no longer needed. New info. There are more than one SAX because they can multiply. And now the Federation are on the way because they want to use the X-Parasites and the SAX. Why? The fudgicles if I know. So Samus refuses. Adam locks her in the room. She gets the idea to set it all to self-destruct. She asks him to let her go by calling his name. He's confused, she explains, and he suggests her to send the space station on a crash course to SR388 to completely destroy the X-Parasites for good. She's going to blow up another planet. Oh, and as to why he made that suggestion, apparently when the real Adam died, his mind or whatever was uploaded to the ship's computer. So off to set course for destruction. But oh no! It's the SAX! So it's a battle, and it turns into this. 10. We destroy it, but it escapes before we can absorb it. We set the course. Countdown. Our ship is missing. Boom! An Omega Metroid! How the heck did it escape? But whatever, time to fight. Oh. That's a strong one. But whoa! It's back! And after it gets destroyed, we absorb it and get all of our original power back. And it's time to send this space dude to the outer reaches of Screw You! After that, the space station is destroyed along with the planet. Then Samus reflects on what happened, wondering if the Federation will hunt her down. But then Adam reassures her that someone will understand, ending the game. Oh yeah, those creatures from Super are back. Cool. And as for my score? Okay, look, about the items. After I got the final power up, I wasn't able to go back to the other places to get the rest of the energy tanks and missile expansions. I mean, there is this place, but how was I supposed to know? And that was Metroid Fusion. What do I think of it? Well, look, I enjoyed what I played, I really did. It's just, the amount of damage Samus is dealt makes it way too hard for my taste. And it's a lot linear for a Metroid game. I know what I said in my Metroid 2 review, but at least you were still able to explore a bit freely. As much as I liked some of it, I'd just rather play the other games. Not the first Metroid though, it ain't that unbearable, but it's pretty low. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. If you like what you saw, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. The review ended up longer than I thought it would do, but well, it is what it is right now. Hopefully you look forward to the next one. I think it's pretty obvious what that's gonna be. And yeah, thanks for watching. And don't forget to share these videos around. I've noticed they're not doing as well as my other videos recently. But yep. Subscribe!